Hi YouTube. This is Donna LC 4560 coming to you with another video. This is my 41 video, and the title is Things That Will Happen When You Date or Marry a Broke Man. Oh, I could tell you some stories about this one. All right, here we go. You be struggling to pay your bills. When I was married, yes I did. I struggled to pay bills because I started off giving my husband before we got married. And he expected it all the time. He even told me one time out of his mouth, you was paying all the bills before I moved in here. Why I gotta help you with bills? And instead of me speaking up, speaking my mind, I just looked at him. Okay? You'll be in debt. Yeah, I stayed in debt. Yep. He used to go around bragging. I was buying a house back in the 80s. He used to go around bragging, talking about our house when we together. When I'm not around, he'd take credit and say his house. Same thing with the car. Yep. I bought a brand new Maxima that was so brand new it only had 10 miles on it. And he didn't even have a license. Hell, he couldn't even hardly read and write. And took him 5 times to finally pass the driver's test. And but he was a good driver. That come from him stealing his father's car when his father would take a long nap and all this and that. So he was a good driver because I passed the test the first time driving, but I had forgot. And he was the one who showed me how to park in between two cars because I would get real nervous when it happened. And all right then, here we go. You have to work 8 to 10 hours a day and maybe work 6 days a week because he's not helping you and you in debt and you trying to get out of that hole. Believe me, sometimes I would work 12 hours. Yep. And he had an audacity sometime to say to me, am I going to pay him for watching my son? Bad enough he's staying, ain't paying no bills. Then he would ask me for money to watch my son eating my food and my place. Yeah, I had low self-esteem back then, so I let a lot of stuff slide. A lot. I mean, it was so many red flags. It was flashing lights. Yep, and I just ignored them. Yep, because I was so called in love. Okay, you have to go half on the bills with him or pay more. Yep. Hmm. That would have gave me a break if we could have went half. No, it was like 90-10, and the 10% that he did give me, believe me, he was trying to get it back. But a lot of times it wasn't 10. It was mostly me paying 100%. And I know some of y'all that's listening probably say that was my fault. Yeah, it was. It was my fault. Like I said, but never again. Never again. You can't go on a nice vacation. You can't afford to take you on a nice vacation once a year. Why? Because you're busy paying them bills. Can't I couldn't even afford to go to the next town. I was in Baltimore, Maryland. I couldn't even afford to go to, I guess you would say, Glen Burnie or Annapolis. That's the capital of Baltimore. I couldn't even afford it. Yep. And if I did, I had to pay for it and take him with me. So that's what happens when you deal with somebody that's broke. Yep. They a dreamer. They a lie, tell you they gonna do this, they gonna do that. They not. And the way you start off, that's how you get tired. I started off giving, 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 and that's what I got tired of. Giving, giving, giving. Okay. You can't afford no nice clothes. Hmm. Boy, I could tell you the stories how I went to Walmart buying dresses, thinking I looked hot. Yeah, I looked hot, all right, a hot mess. And you could look and tell it was cheap material. Yeah, Walmart dress. I went to a concert. I can't remember who it was. Oh, Four Tops and the Temptations with a cheap dress on because I could not afford a decent dress somewhere like J.C. Penney's or Marshalls or something like that. And this guy that I met, the only reason why he paid for the ticket because he wanted to drive my car. I was separated from my husband then. He wanted to drive my brand new Maxima. Yep. Didn't put no gas in it. Just paid for the tickets. That was it. Didn't get me nothing to eat afterwards. And he used to ask me all the time, can he use my car? And this the kicker. He was a used car salesman. But the cars that he had where he worked at was used cars. Mine was spanking brand new. Mine was so new, I had got it in 86 and it was an 87. Yep. Brand new Maxima. That was the ones where on the side of the door you put the code in. So it's best to memorize the code. So if you lose your key, all you do is put the code in and the door will open. Yep. Unlock. The door unlocked. All right. This next one here. You can't afford to eat in a high end restaurant and all because he's not gonna pay his part. And my ex-husband, I used to take him. I will always pay for it. I used to take him to the restaurant, and I love seafood. I still do. And he would get just for smartness. A lot of times he didn't want it. He would get steak, nice little juicy steak. A lot of times, and all. He would eat it, but he would just get it because it was the highest. Because one time I told him, "Won't you get some spaghetti?" Because I know he likes spaghetti. No, he looked at me and said, "No, that's too cheap." Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I was just always paying for something. So ladies, don't do it. I was young and dumb, didn't know no better. I was in my 20s. Yep. Alrighty. You'll be living paycheck to paycheck. Now, this I know all of y'all know what I'm talking about. Paycheck to paycheck. I was doing so bad that 2 days before I got my pay, I had already wrote down all the things I had to do with it and had to pay. And I used to get my grandmother sometime to I would borrow money from her to put gas in the car because he would be riding it out and wouldn't put none in. Yep. You'll always be stressed out over money. Yeah. Whenever you're dealing with somebody that's broke, that's not helping you, and you got to pay the bills, yeah, you be stressed. And then I had a young child at the time too that I had to take care of, so yeah, you be stressed out. That's one of the reasons why I got this hat on my head because I got a whole bunch of gray hair. You might can see some of it. Yep. All right. All right. You can't afford to buy a nice house without going into debt. Yeah, I had a house back in the 20s, back in my 20s, 2085. No, I got married in 85, and I bought the house. Was buying a house in 86, 5 days before my birthday. So I still was 25 and all. And I lost it in 23 months. Yep, I was surprised I hung on that long and all. So, yep. And when he would get upset, he would tell me, "Quick, this your house, this your car." But when I'm caught up in my bills, all of a sudden, I'm his wife. All of a sudden, my wife, my car, my house, our car, you know, our house. Yeah. I just wish I would have listened to his father when his father told me he wasn't no good. I'm sorry. I just didn't. A lot of us, we got to learn the hard way. All right. You'll be eating leftovers more often. Yeah, I had eat leftovers a lot. And a lot of times, um, there wasn't enough food for the three of us. And my grandmother, but she loved to cook. And my grandmother would invite me over. And Lord knows, he would call. My grandmother didn't like him. he would call and say, "Don't forget to bring me a plate." Yep. hmm But if he went to his family's house to eat, which he did 5 days after we got married, we got married December the 20th, 1985, and we got into an argument because I still wanted him to go to his family's, but I wanted him to wait until the next day and spend Christmas with me. No, I was crying 5 days after I got married, and I remember a gentleman had called me to wish me Merry Christmas, and he heard me sense that I was crying. And he said, if you unhappy now and you only been married for 5 days, how you think it's gonna be in 5 months? He said, how you think it's gonna be in 5 months? Yep. I married December the 20th and I was crying on Christmas Day, December the 25th. Yep. I already seen the red flags before I got married, but still did it. And my dumb tail brought him I guess you would call it dress clothes to get married in. So I paid for the shoes, the pants, the shirt, the tie. And back then they had leather ties. I guess they still have leather ties. And the tie cost more than the shirt. Yep. Pay for the cake, everything. He didn't even pay for the pictures. Yep. To get the pictures developed. So yeah, and he used to call me Dodo and Dummy in my face. Sometimes he'd add the bird on it, Dodo bird. Yep. And I was a big one. You always you always be looking for deals and sales to save money. Yeah, I was doing little things to say I had no choice. I had to save money. Um, I mean, literally, I couldn't save in a checking account and my checking account and savings account, but I had to save money because I had a mortgage. I had a car note. I had car insurance. And a couple of times it got so bad, I was driving around with no insurance. Couldn't afford it. Yep. You never, just what I just got through saying, you never have extra money. Never. Because he had three bad habits. He loved drinking beer, he loved smoking marijuana, and smoking cigarettes. Simple as that. Them three bad habits. And he thought I was supposed to support it. And a lot of times I did. Yep. You will be paying bills late sometime. Well, that's true. My other bills I didn't pay late. But I started paying late was my mortgage. And I knew eventually I was gonna lose my house. I knew that. And yep. You can't afford Lord have mercy, you can't afford to go to the emergency room. I mean I had insurance, but still I couldn't afford it because certain things I had to pay for, with my insurance. Yep. Okay. You can't afford to give nice gifts on Christmas and birthdays. No. A lot of times I didn't even give gifts because I couldn't afford it. Yep. You'll have to do free you have to do free activities to save yourself some money. Yeah. In Baltimore there's a lot of things you could do for free. There's a park called Drew Hill Park and they be having little concerts and stuff there. Be crowded, but it would be free. Yep. The food wouldn't be free because they would have people there cooking this and that, and you had to pay. Yep. But to get in, it was free. And sometime in Baltimore, I don't know if they still have it. They used to have when you go to the zoo for free certain times during the year. Yep. So I had to do a lot of free activities because I really didn't have the money. And then it would get so bad, I didn't have the money to put gas in the car to get to the free activities. Yep. Okay. You had to shop at cheap discount stores. Like I said, Walmart, Kmart, little cheap discount stores and all. And they don't hardly have no good, decent shoes. Them shoes be hurting your feet because they cheap quality. Yep. And I used to have to get my shoes and stuff there. Pay less. That was another store. I think they went out of business. That was another store that I would get my cheap shoes out of and this and that. Yep. All right, this last one here. You start complaining about bills. I was complaining to him, but he didn't care. He could care less that I complained that I needed him to help me. He wouldn't. And the reason why he wouldn't help me, because I started off helping and giving him. That's why, ladies, don't start off. Don't do it. I don't care if you've been with a man a year. Don't give him no